Okay, today is Tuesday, October 12th, almost 12 noon. It's 11:54 a.m. on the Eastern Coast. I am Tim, and today is a better day, I think, than yesterday. Since we had that big dump, I think we've recovered a little bit. Let's take a look and see what's in the charts. I am not your financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is only to be used as entertainment. So we are looking now at the million token chart on the 4-hour chart. I'm going to zoom out a little bit just so you have an idea what's been going on. So we had that pump up here for like 100% in a day, and we've corrected quite a bit. Actually, let's measure that. So I'm not sure what it is. Yeah, we went down like 56%, and we're holding at like just below $14, let's say. So we came all the way down to this yellow box of accumulation zone, and I think we're kind of still in it. We're still in the accumulation zone, kind of like on the low end. I'll zoom out. So we are way down here at the low end. So I know people that have been talking, they're scrambling to get money and their banks are not moving fast enough. Believe me, I've been there. I know what it's like. It's not fun. I think by the time everybody gets their money in this weekend, I just have a feeling that if you're not going to buy this weekend or sooner, I don't think you can catch these low prices anymore. But this wick here is really concerning. Happened again yesterday. And Carl had talked about this on his channel yesterday, how it went down to like 79 cents. But this was, I guess, with the ETH MA pairing. So even though it is backed by a dollar, it's usually on the USDC. So I'm not sure if somebody had a fat finger. I think we have a lot of new investors. They just, if you have a lot to sell, don't sell it all at once. Sell it in small chunks. And that may have been the case, or there's just not enough liquidity in the ETH MM pairing. Speaking about liquidity, TechLead posted a video yesterday all about how to make income, and he went into detail about one of the ways you could do is provide liquidity. And it seems like Million Token has a good percentage rate, APR, I think. Up there like 16% or something if you provide liquidity, but you've got to look and see where it's needed the most. So my thoughts on that dump. I'm thinking a bot bought it up, but I don't know how much they bought. I'm not looking through the Etherscan or whatever. But if somebody bought a lot down here, probably a computer or a bot, I'm thinking, if they've been driving the price down and they got a good price here, and let's say they bought the bottom and it went up, but somebody bought the bottom and it went up 1,289%. Yeah, I wish there was limit orders for this pair ETH MM, and I would just put a couple $100, and if it happens again, you make out like bandits. But some bots probably doing it. My point is, if some bot or some person bought down here and they're smart enough just to continue to trickle down and wait until there's a floor level. Looking here at the 15-minute chart, it looks like it could be anywhere between, $12 and $14, It's unfortunate this wick happened. It's a lot of sell pressuring. I guess some people just want to get out, which is also, it could be a bullish sign. If people just panic selling. And, George from Cryptos R Us, where is he? He had a recent video 13 hours ago. I sold all coins and loaded up on Bitcoin. And he brings a good point. And I'm just going to go over the differences. But he was talking about the Bitcoin dominance chart. So let me see if I can pull that up. Okay, so right here in 2017, Bitcoin dominance went down, alts went up, but really toward the second half of the year, it went up. And then, alts didn't really take off until Bitcoin peaked out. So his point is basically the second half of the year, Bitcoin tends to go up. Or just watch his video. I don't put words in his mouth. But, if he's getting out of alts, for me, I'm sticking with it because for two reasons. One, if I sell, probably short term, I'm gonna have to pay tax and pay ordinary income tax on that. So you've got to look into that also, and especially if the alts might peter out or top out at the end of the year, and that covers 365 days or 366 days, and you can cash out and pay long-term capital gains taxes on enormous gains on altcoins. It's definitely something to consider. So looking at the altcoin cycle, they are bleeding quite a bit, and we did go below the red line, and just like we did here, and what happened? We turned around. So, if you were wanting to get out of alts, right, you should have done it when we were topping out over these peaks here, right? You had resistance all the way back here in January of 2018. You got a top here and a top here, right? You have a third top right here, and you had another top. So, you had plenty of warnings to, sell the altcoins up here at the top if you wanted to, but to sell down here when it's going to probably turn around, for me, I think it's riskier, but I understand, if Bitcoin's going to rally for the next 2 months, you want to be in Bitcoin and not alts, because alts are just going to bleed more, and you want to have your Bitcoin portfolio go up, denominated in Bitcoin. So if alts go down, your Bitcoin ratio, if those were in Bitcoin, would be, going down. But, I'm thinking, that these two peaks that we've had over here, and I've been saying it for months now, like here's one and here's one. And, if we go down for 2 months, it's not going to be pretty for alts, right? It maybe will come down to meet resistance down these levels, right? Yeah, probably down here before going up. But for me, it's all about asset allocation and risk management. So like if you have 80% Bitcoin in your portfolio and 20% alts, you're probably a lot less stressful, because when Bitcoin rises, most of your portfolio rises. And when alts take off, well, when alts take off, they really take off. I mean, it just demolishes Bitcoin. It makes Bitcoin look pathetic. Your 20% alts will carry your portfolio. Bitcoin doesn't usually bleed into alts, just for a very, very short time. So if you're going to get out of alts, you're going to be paying taxes, and then you have to worry about trying to get back into alts. Yeah. And 75% of the people just don't trade well. They don't trade and make a profit. So, for me, I'm just, you have a plan, you stick with it. If you're in alts, you should be holding them, when they got decimated, usually in December of the year, when, like every 4 years or whatever. Just Decembers are just terrible for alts usually, unless it's a bull run. And then we'll just see what happens with that. So that's the coin market cap. I just closed it out by mistake. Basically it's a down day, but if you look at the 7-day chart, Bitcoin's is up like 13%, and altcoins haven't been performing that well compared to Bitcoin the last 7 days. I don't think that's a surprise. So yeah, this is still a concern, this wick, which actually reminded me, when we had the last downturn 2 days ago, I actually did buy below $13, and it was because I had a limit order on Polygon that I forgot about. It was a limit order I put on before that giant pump, up to almost $30. And I was just like getting ready for bed. I'm lying down in bed. I'm like, you know what? I wonder if that filled. So you just log into Polygon, quick swap, click limit order, and sure enough, it said executed. So I'm like, oh, good. So it wasn't a huge order. It was just a couple $100, but it was just nice to have to get it below 13. I'm not liquid right now with cash, but like everybody else, I think everybody's scrambling to get cash, probably in by this weekend. Anyway, so that's that. And we got some good news overall. Let me just still go over the market real quick. So TechDiv, he's posted, Bitcoin and altcoin market caps. Now he had posted about a gold fractal update. And again, it looks bullish as heck. Everything's pointing up. the hodl waves. People are holding Bitcoin longer. That's just kind of what's being kind of taught. And that's what I teach too with Million Token. If you have a scarce asset with a fixed supply, you don't trade it. You just hold. You buy the dips when they come, and the people don't know what they have. They're selling it. Another thing that caught my eye is FTX. There, you could be able to swap and trade your NFTs on FTX. However, Sam Bankman, he's only doing the Solana NFTs because he's a big fan of Solana, and so I still think Solana is going to be huge. Like FTX is already a big exchange. They came out of like nowhere, but I've seen it. I saw it coming. There's a lot of hate with Coinbase with their fees and how they're running businesses and the analytics and sharing stuff with the government, and now with I guess if you have a investment purchase of $10,000 or more, the IRS wants exchanges to report that. So I think that's just going to be a huge boom for DEXs. I remember when China said they were going to ban Bitcoin like a week or two ago. Well, DYDX like shot up 40 or 60% in a day, and I think they're a decentralized exchange from years ago. So when this hits the United States, I mean, like me personally, I know I'm going to go off base here, but part of my exit strategy is not really to have a lot of cash on like Coinbase or my major exchange, if you have Gemini or whatever, because when you cash out, they're going to report all that. If right now you have time to learn how to use a DEX like Serum or something, and you could sell your Bitcoin right on there for like a stable coin. And, part of the exit strategy is maybe you want to use a variety of different DEXs with a variety of different stable coins in case, one of them has issues. Maybe it might be down, maybe it gets hacked. I don't know. But, Coinbase is notorious for, you shutting down or you don't have access to it when there's a lot of traffic to it, whether it's selling or buying. But I think when the peak comes in, you're going to have like 3 days or a week tops to try to sell out of your investments. If you think that's the peak, usually you have about 21 days if you are following the CBI index that Colin talks about. He had just posted a video earlier today about his CBI index, and you could follow the links here on the bottom of his description on YouTube, where you can follow him on Twitter and the CBI index on Twitter. But basically, it doesn't rely on price or the amount of days when the top comes in. This index I think is genius. I think he's totally underrated. And he found a new hidden pattern where you have this trend line here. And, when it breaks, that's usually after the peak's been in. And where we are now, it looks like we just have a giant, peak left to come. In fact, looking at this, I would think it would be a great time to buy unless we have like a black swan event or something where the stock market crashes or something. But, you have to have a long-term vision. So let's see what else there is. Yeah, I remember in Carl's discussion yesterday, they were talking about wealth inequality, and I found this interesting that recently posted on Twitter. The U.S. is officially a banana republic. The top 1% now own more wealth than the entire middle class. I was like, wow. Usually this is why there's so much rebellion, I think, in America these last couple of years, because the wealth gap, the middle class are feeling like they can barely get by. And, the poor, I don't know how they get by really. I mean, I know they have, distributed checks, the stimulus checks and unemployment. And I know it's a big mess, but when you have 1% that owns more wealth than the entire middle class, that's, usually I think when things like this happen, high taxes are coming down the road. And so again, if knowing that, if you're rich, you're probably going to get into crypto because they're not going to be able to force you to sell your crypto. You could just say, I forgot my keys or something. and just move to another country with your wealth. Just as simple as that. But yeah, I thought this was really it's shocking, really, really shocking. See what else do we have? We're coming knocking it down real fast. Oh yeah, LionGov. Wow. So this is amazing. I was just talking about this yesterday on my stream. How it'd be nice if they kind of summed up the totals, and that's what they did. I mean, it was so simple. I couldn't do it better myself. I don't know anything about coding, but this is exactly what I was looking for. And this is what's great about having a small community, really diehard fans and coders working literally 12 hours a day. I am not kidding. You make a suggestion and the next day, boom, it's done. It's like Tech Lead. He wants to put Million Token on another blockchain, like that weekend, boom, it's done. Next project. So this is just amazing and spectacular. And I took the time and went over it with some of my wallets, two of my wallets, because my wallets are real easy. I buy and I hold. I don't sell. I don't even do transfers out of my wallet. And so for me, I went through the calculations, and they were spot on. I could do a separate video just showing how you could double check, because what I also did with my spreadsheets is once you put all this information in, you could create a formula showing what your voting weight would be in the future, whether it's within 30 days, or you could put a date in and it'll show you like how much your voting weight would be at the end of the year, or in 3 years or 5 years or 10 years. So, but basically what you do is you could just copy and paste this into a spreadsheet, and it puts it in real nice, and then do that for all your wallets, right? If you want to figure out what your total weight is among all your wallets, you can do that. But you copy and paste this in there, and you add up all your votes, and you add up all your Million Token, and you would just add all your Million Token that you have. It just gets added on day by day. That's how it kind of works with the math. I can go over this online, but it'd be a totally separate video. So I'm a math guy. I'm a spreadsheet kind of guy, and if you just bought 1 Million Token right here in this first chart here, where it's all kind of red, and you held it for 1,000 days. Well, at the end of 1,000 days, you'd have 1,000 votes weighted. I guess you would call it voting weight, because you've just held it for one token. And the next one is if you bought 1 token every day for 1,000 days. Okay, it might be kind of expensive at the end, but I'm just playing with numbers here, and you can see how it goes. It starts to go parabolic, and it goes up to 1 million voting weight, where over here you had 1,000. So a big difference. If you keep adding to your stack, it's going to go parabolic. Okay. And then here you have, if you added 2 Million Token each day to your stack, you'd have almost 2 million at the end of 1,000 days. Again, it's just 2x of this, really, right? Because you're just doubling it up. And then over here I have, if you bought 1,000 Million Token on the first day, and you just held it for 1,000 days, you'd have 1 million in voting weight. So even if you held, just 1 Million Token for 1,000 days, which is 3 years or something, you're going to have a voting weight of 1,000 voting weight. Okay, which means somebody else coming in the market, they would have to buy 1,000 tokens, which they're probably not going to do, because in like 3 years it's going to be a lot more expensive. Fingers crossed, not financial advice, but it's just, even if you just hold 1 Million Token, in a couple of years somebody else would have to buy 1,000 just to equal your voting weight. Now, this is for me, it's fascinating. I'm a geek when it comes to numbers, but if you're not interested in the governance, but you're not interested in voting and stuff like that, well, then this isn't for you. You could buy and sell. You don't have to worry about it. And if you are, an integral part, and you're really following what's going on with, everything, you're gonna want to have your whale wallets or holding wallets untouched. In fact, I'm thinking about just creating a whole new MetaMask because I've got some whale wallets on MetaMask, and I don't even want to move them to my Trezor or Ledger devices because then I would basically be reset. So what I'm going to do is, I'll have that MetaMask maybe installed on a laptop or something, or I don't even have to have it installed. Well, maybe I would because I still need to vote on it. But basically, it would be not attached to the internet. It'd be in a laptop in a drawer somewhere, and I would just use it to vote. That way, if my computer gets hacked or something. But I keep hearing stories that people, are still getting hacked on their MetaMask. You had Vesper got hacked. I've heard other million tokens got hacked, and luckily, they didn't have a lot of million token, but they bought in early. So if you've got some whale wallets on MetaMask, I would not use that as your regular MetaMask. Just, back up the seed phrase, put that on another laptop that you're not using, and just pull it out when you need to. I'm going to create a whole new MetaMask, and future buys I could probably sell if I want to without worrying about my voting weight being adjusted that much, because I have a tremendous amount of voting weight right now, probably too much. But so that was that. But also, we have the staking from the Simba Coin people over at Million Dot Farm, right? And you have value with the Simba Coin, which you might be able to, what you will be able to sell over the market for whatever. So if you like income that way, you could stake your million token. I don't know all the details, but this is what I'm thinking. If you stake your million token, and you get your Simba Coin, and you sell it, just remember that's going to count as ordinary income on taxes. Okay, so yes, people that like staking may want to buy more million tokens. So there's a use case for that, is that they want to buy more million tokens so they can stake it to earn something. But some of these like governance tokens, they can just skyrocket sometimes, and then they can come down too. But the early people that are doing it, they take the risk of staking their million token. They'll get that early, they'll be the first ones to sell their governance token if they want to. But I just don't like the idea of giving up my private keys if I have to stake. If there's a way I don't have to give up my private keys, then, I'll look into it. And I don't know if there's a lockup period also. And like Cardano, you could stake, but you could take out your coins anytime you want. So I don't know what the Million Dot Farm people are going to be doing. But yes, there's value. There's going to be value to the Simba Coin. And I want to get back to this LionGov thing. Even though you don't get a coin, right, there's still value to this. And let me explain why. Because I know in the future that Carl is going to be giving out NFTs to the people that hold the longest. I know that. I just know that. I know the whole system. I know Carl, he's mentioned it. And so if you get free NFTs for holding for X amount of time, how many million tokens you have, you're going to increase your chances of getting a rare NFT. And right now, NFTs are hot. If this thing takes off, like the Shadows Fingers NFTs really take off, I mean, there's only 888 NFTs in a batch. I think that's being released recently, the Chiba NFTs. And you've got these other NFTs I see, like there's like 10,000 of them or something like that, with like the lions and cyberpunks and stuff. So 888 is not a lot of NFTs, and I think the design's great. So if you have a wallet or wallets that you aren't selling, but once you sell, I mean, everybody else before you is just going to skyrocket in voting weight. If you have wallets that you haven't sold or transferred or provide liquidity, you're going to increase your chances of getting a rare NFT. And NFTs can go for, thousands of dollars. So there's definitely value in the Lion governance, even though you don't get a token. You could get a chance at a rare NFT. And, I don't know how often the NFT batches are coming out. The Safari batch of NFTs, I don't know. You're gonna have to ask Carla when that might be coming out, but it may not be. You may not have to wait too long. So there's that. And again, if you want me to go over a separate video of how you can calculate your own waiting points, for future, you could do it. I was running my numbers, and I could tell you that in 3 months, whatever I have right now for voting weight will double in 3 months. So the math is crazy. If you ever want a rare NFT, or you want a huge weight in voting, do not sell, transfer, or provide liquidity in your wallet. I think I think this wallet's going to launch soon, and you could go into, what was that website? Let me pull it up real quick. Liongov.io. It's like weight points. So it's vote.liongov.io/weight points. Okay. And you could, put in your wallet. It'll show you right now what your weight is for that one wallet address. And you would just do that for your other wallet addresses. You just copy and paste it and all that. But that would be a separate video. I don't know how many people are geeky like me when it comes to numbers, but probably not many. But or you could just do it yourself. I mean, it's not that hard, really. And Bitcoin's having a pullback, right? 56,222. So we're holding support here on the 4-hour on the 21 moving average. Got caught it here. Man, this is a great time to buy. And if altcoins continue to bleed against Bitcoin as Bitcoin goes up to 60 or 65,000, then yeah, Million Token can bleed down as well, right? Maybe we'll see lower lows below $12. It's not a concern for me. But my next buy orders, I'm going to probably put limit orders in at $12 or something like that, because this is just crazy. When I buy orders on Uniswap, I'm paying crazy fees, and I still push up the price, and I'm getting fewer tokens. So if I have a limit order, I know exactly how many tokens I'm going to get, because I'm telling the computer I want this many tokens at this price. Take it or leave it. And, if I was no more patient, you could have had multiple times to buy ever since you're back in September 29. So yeah, for the last 2 weeks, you could have got it probably below $13. And then just a few times below that. Yeah. So I think I'm going to go with limit orders. I'll pay the freaking fee for the bridge fees. That news on the Solana and was it FTX? Solana, I could buy Solana on Coinbase and send it to my Solana address for not even a penny, and then I could use my Solana to buy Million Token, probably for not even a penny, and so. Yeah, I really got to learn how to do this. I know the liquidity is not there on Solana, and there's like only 25 or 27 addresses for Million Token on Solana. But I'm telling you, it's probably the future, because you don't want to worry about, if you don't want to pay bridge fees. I mean, Solana is there. It's right there on Coinbase already for you, for U.S. investors. And you could use that on your decentralized exchanges like Serum or whatever. But yeah, if I'm going crazy, cashing out at the top of the bubble, I don't want to be paying bridge fees and stuff like that. But this is the time I got to learn all that stuff. So let's see what's in the chat real quick. I think I've been talking too much. It says, "Hey Tim, what's your occupation?" I'm in the medical field. I can't really get into too details. 1 second, let me get a drink of water. Yeah, I've been in the medical field for like 30 years, but what I do is very, very specific. So specific that if I told you, you'd probably know who I am. There's only like a few people like me in each state, put it that way. And Rezo says, "Hi Tim, I have a question. What happens if I put liquidity on QuickSwap and the price of MM goes to up 50% in minutes? What would you do if you were providing liquidity?" And he asks, "Is the best thing to pull out your liquidity as soon as you see the price rising?" You for the best thing for liquidity providers is if the price just goes sideways. It's been going sideways really for a month and a half since early September, I would say. So if you were providing liquidity then, you would probably be making good money in fees. The only thing you have to worry about is impermanent loss. I'm not really the type of guy that can talk about liquidity. I do not provide liquidity. For me, I think like Bitcoin, I think million token is like digital gold. I don't want to risk losing it. So if you're providing liquidity and people just frantically buy million token, just crazy, right? Well, you're going to get the cash for it, but you're going to lose the million tokens. So you'll be sitting on all this cash and you'll be sad because million token is like going to the moon and you're not seeing your portfolio go up. And on the vice versa, if you've got a lot of million token and if the price is crashing and everybody's selling the million token, you're going to be stuck with a lot of million token, right? And which would be like, you could say, well, if it goes back down to a 50% or 80% crash, you're going to be stuck with all this million token at a far less value. So if the price moves up or down a lot, it's probably not going to be good for people providing liquidity. For me, it's not worth the risk. And, think about, giving up your private keys and stuff like that. And, liquidity's been around for a long time. I don't think there's a high risk for it. It's just the impermanent loss I'm not comfortable with. So those are my thoughts on liquidity. I think there's probably better people that can provide answers on that. And if you go to the Discords, there's discussions and links on liquidity that can far better answer questions on liquidity than I can. But those are my thoughts, and Tech Lead discussed that briefly in his video yesterday. Cordy says, saw the drop to the dollar yesterday. The ARB bots bought it up quickly. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I figure it was bots. I'm thinking that now they have all that profit, they could just keep selling. They could drive the price down because they already made that 1,000% gain. But again, I don't know. Maybe that price dropped just for a little bit. There probably wasn't a lot of million token in that bought up. Yeah, the price shot down there, but it could have been just like 1 or 10 million tokens. It doesn't have to be hundreds of thousands. But if somebody wants to scan Etherscan, you could probably find it. Even though it seemed like the seller got front run and sold really cheap. Yeah, arbitrage. Yeah. My overall thoughts is I think, the good thing is looking at million token chart, you got this giant wick here, which means it got bought up real quickly. We've got resistance. We couldn't break here, at $14.24, which was prior support. Now it's turning resistance. We couldn't break it here, and we couldn't break it a few hours later on earlier today, 4 a.m. Eastern time. But the good news is, well, there's a giant wick, so it got bought up quickly. The bad news is we're still rolling over. People are panic selling. We might have another wick like this for days. I don't know. I mean, we're down here for a while, another double dip, but you got the million token army. They're waiting for their cash at the banks. I see it on Carl's live stream talking about they can't move the money fast enough. I've got some money coming my way. I'm by Friday, and I'm looking to buy, but I'm gonna just do it with limit orders. I'm not gonna be watching my computer or my phone, looking for the price and then buying and then having to worry about paying the damn fees on Uniswap because my big orders I get more million tokens there. I'm not playing that game anymore. I'll pay the $60 or whatever it is. I'll wait until nighttime to do the bridge over to Polygon to pay less fees, hopefully, at nighttime. And then I'll put in my limit orders. I'm going to put in a whole bunch of limit orders of small amounts. Just because if I put a big limit order in, I don't know if it will get partially filled. I'm guessing not. So I don't think but I'm not putting any limit orders above $13. If they want to bring the price down to $12 again, you know, I'll nibble. I might buy a little bit above 13. I really don't know. I have to see how much money I have, and I'll give you an update. But if we go all the way down to $12 and we bounce up, all my orders will fill. I don't care if the price goes below $12. $12 and up, my orders will fill. How do I do limit orders? Missed that part. Thanks. Raman says. So if you go to QuickSwap, you have to get familiar how to use QuickSwap and the whole Polygon thing. As far as I know, this is the only one that really does it. So Google search QuickSwap interface for Polygon. And check out Discords for help. Check out Missile's past live streams or YouTube channels for how to set this all up. So basically, I always find it's easier if you just buy this stuff in USDT. I mean, you could buy it in Matic or ETH, but as far as tax records are concerned, if you could just show how much you really bought it for in USDT, you don't have to do the how much was Matic when I bought it and do all the conversions. So if I'm going to just, for sake of demonstration, just show it in USDC. But up here on the left, you see limit order. This again. Okay, so you select the token. You have to paste in the million token contract code. I don't think it's gonna let. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, I must have added this. If you don't see it pop up, you have to add it with the contract address. You have to go to Polygon Explorer and copy the contract address there. And then whatever you're selling it with or buying million token with, in my case, I would probably use USDC. And it's kind of weird here. It'll say, well, right now at this price, I can get 68. But let's say I wanted 70 or more. Then you got to play around with like these numbers. That's 65. Let me see if it's, I think I have to go up. There you go. Boom. Then I get more million token that way. If I want more than 70 for $1,000, you just change numbers. But you have to do some math on this on your side. You have to figure out, well, let's see now. Let's just do it right now. $1,000 divided by $12 per million token. I would want at least 83 million tokens. So there you go. Now I would, my wallet should be connected, and then I would click submit limit order, and then it would just stay there. I think I might even ask you how long do you want to keep it on the books for? 3 days, 7 days, or I just do it indefinite, because you could always cancel your limit order later on. Because once you click submit limit order, you can still close down your windows and stuff like that. And next time you log into QuickSwap and you click limit order, it'll show you if you have any limit orders pending still, or if you want to cancel them, or it'll show if it's been executed. Let's say your order got filled like mine. I just forgot about it. It still showed a record, and it didn't show previous past filled records. So there might be a time limit on how long it's going to show, but you could always just go to the Polygon Explorer, type in your address, and see if it was filled. But if it hasn't been filled, it should show up, and you can cancel limit orders if you want to change your price. So Dano says, so people like Vesper that had their MetaMask hacked, I assume they just don't have the tokens on hardware wallet and they left them invulnerable. Well, with Vesper, he had his NFTs, but Vesper's the official million token, or he's one of the people that makes NFTs. The really nice ones you've seen early on from TechLead that he was showcasing, very stylistic with the rich gold and blacks, and his MetaMask got hacked, and they had to redistribute and remit the NFTs to the people that held them. I don't know a lot about it. I know he had discussed it on Discord. I can't catch the live discussions on Discord, so if they don't record them and upload them to YouTube, I can't tell you, but I think there was an OpenSea Discord, and he got talking with somebody, and they took advantage of him basically. I think that's how it went, but you could check Discord out. The Million Token Foundation, I think they call themselves, and Vesper is part of that team there. But I don't know if he had assets like crypto assets taken, but I use a VPN. I don't, I always have my MetaMask turned off. If you notice, a couple of times they kept asking me to log in. I always turn it off. And if you're logged in, just click that little circle top right hand corner of your MetaMask, and where it'll pop up and it'll say locked. You just click that, and it basically signs you out. So if somebody hacked my computer remotely, they wouldn't know my password for my MetaMask. But if you really have like a whale wallet on MetaMask, just write down the seed phrase and put that on a computer that's not even attached to the internet. Just turn it off, put it in a drawer, and use it when you want to trade crypto or vote. And only have a MetaMask on your laptop or computer. If you have to use daily trades and stuff, and what you can do, if it gets too big in the future, right? Let's say you installed your new MetaMask, and now you've got like $1,000 worth of crypto on it. You could just transfer those funds to your first MetaMask wallet, right? It's no big deal. Just transfer it, especially if you're on Polygon. Simple transfer. You don't have to pull out your laptop, from the desk drawer or whatever, for your Whale wallet. Just, what the address is, just transfer it. When it gets to a certain rate, I just don't want a Whale wallet MetaMask on my computer anymore. It should be on a computer that's turned off in a drawer, locked up somewhere. Let's see. I think that covers most of the stuff I wanted to talk about. The way the markets work now, I mean, we've got this giant wealth gap, and I don't know how to say it, but like if you're not in assets, you're getting destroyed with inflation. If you're just living from paycheck to paycheck with no assets, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. That Social Security check that you're going to get when you're 70 years old or whatever, 65. I know when I collect Social Security, I think if it was full benefits, let me get a drink of water. I think I'm close to getting maxed out because of my income, which is like in the future, they're saying it's like $4,000 a month, but that's in today's dollars. So in the future, with the cost of living adjustments, I think they just had a big cost of living adjustments, like 4 or 6%, but they hadn't had one in like a number of years. I still don't think they're basically just keeping you down. They're giving you enough money to survive. Don't count on Social Security to carry you through your golden years if you want them golden. When I was taught early on was Social Security should be like 25% of your income. But so many people have rely on it as like a major source of income, and it was never designed to be that way. And the way it's designed, they pulled out the money using IOUs, so that's why it's going to go bankrupt. And even the money that's invested in there is invested in the stock market, which is pretty much a Ponzi scheme, in my opinion, as with the money system. Cryptos are really the only fair way to go. And we're still early, even though Bitcoin's at 56,000 now. What percent of the world is in crypto? Like maybe 4%, if we're lucky, and the 4% of that are in it, probably don't even have $100. So they could say they have own crypto, but really, how many of them are really protected and plan for the future? I mean, I still think crypto is the way to go if you want to retire early, young. You got to learn the lessons now early on. And for me, it was 80% Bitcoin, rest in alts. I'm happy with that. If you want less risk, you can go all in Bitcoin. As risky as Bitcoin is, it's people get confused between volatility and risk. They see price swings of, it dropped 40, 50% in a day, but it can go 5 or 10x in a year. There's volatility and there's risk. If you look at the risk over like 10 years of Bitcoin, it curves and goes up almost like a 45-degree angle, just like the stock market, but a much faster rate. Speaking about the stock market, I wonder if I still have that Bitcoin. See if I have it. I was comparing it with the stock market. If you invert it, it looks like the stock market is going down, right? This is Bitcoin versus the stock market. I think this is not the right one. Yeah, this is kind of going up. It looks just like a regular Bitcoin market. Yeah, there's no top for Bitcoin. Let me see if I can find that chart one more time. So Bitcoin, it's the inverse of this. I probably have to look on this SPY. But basically, you've seen how the dollar goes to zero against Bitcoin. It's the same thing with the stock market. Yeah, well, this was a fun episode. Yeah, it's a little bit better than yesterday. Kind of bummed out that we had to go back in this yellow box and test $12, but we did it again yesterday and went down lower. But I don't really care. I know the million token armies, they're gonna buy this up so fast, and I think if we hit $12 this weekend, I think it's gonna be the last. It's never gonna hit $12. That's just my opinion, though, not financial advice. Yeah, I think we covered a lot of stuff. Yeah, I think when people realize that any investment over $10,000 is going to get reported, people are just not going to use Coinbase. The only thing I'm going to use Coinbase for is I'll do my trading on a DEX somewhere, or Ethereum, or Solana, or something like that, and then just send a little bit of money once a month to my checking account through Coinbase with stable coins. They don't know what I have. I mean, they can search the blockchain and see what I have, but I don't need them, calling up the IRS or doing reports saying, "Hey, Tim had he got this much Bitcoin or this much Solana or this much million token." Well, they won't have million token there yet, but I don't want that. I don't even want to get flagged by the IRS. If I send a couple $1,000s to get by every couple of weeks, to be under the radar, just stable coins, all they see is stable coins. And then if they come after me, I was like, I got a whole detail of records of my trades and stuff and screenshots. When I do trades, I screenshot everything. And I could take care of my records myself. I just don't need a big brother looking over my shoulder and reporting on me. That's just crazy. I think that's it, guys. Long stream. How long has it been? About 48 minutes. That's about average for me, I guess. Okay, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.